praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone for showing me this great truth. And shalom and salutations to my brothers on the four corners pumping out this truth with sincerity, long-suffering, and longevity. Today I'm going to get on the fear of the Lord. And start with Sirach 1 and 12. As soon as I get to it. Actually, let me start with verse 11. This is Sirach, chapter 1, verse 11. The fear of the Lord is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. Whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it is created with the faithful in the womb. Therefore, it has already been predestined, preordained. All right? The reason why we come out here on the highways and the byways in the midst of Israel is to tell the children of Israel, whether they hear or forbear, that you need to fear the Most High and stop going to your stupid-ass churches thinking that He's all love. All right? The churches are not telling you that the Most High is a man of war. The churches are not telling you that the Most High needs to be feared. All right? And the beginning of His love is the fear of Him. All right? This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 7. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe Him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Right. Look at the generations of old and see, did any, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? When Noah trusted in the Lord, was he confounded or was he found faithful? He was found faithful. When Abraham left his nativity and his father and his mother to go into a land that he did not know, was he faithful? Yes, he was. When Joseph went into the prison and he kept his faith with Yahweh God, Shem Yahweh Shai in spirit and in truth, didn't he not become a lord in Egypt? Yes, he did. All by what? Because he had faith and fear of the Lord. All right. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey His word, and they that love Him will keep His ways. So in order to love the Most High, you must keep His ways. Now, most people don't keep His ways. They think that they could do whatever they want to do because they have their own free will. That's what's been taught in the churches. When in actuality, you don't even have free will. There's no free will for nobody. You're either going to do Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai's plan, which is what the world calls God and Jesus Christ, or you're going to do the devil's work. All right, there ain't no middle ground. And all those that try to play both sides, He will spew you out. Being spewed out is meaning that when the Most High gives us our spiritual power, we're going to fucking kill you, and the martial law, they're going to fucking kill you too. All right. Verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek in that which is well pleasing unto Him, and they that love Him shall be filled with the law. Now the law is talking about more than just the 10 commandments. The law is actually talking about 613 commandments, laws, statutes, judgments, and ordinances that must be done. All right? That is the law. Now, the reason why you're supposed to keep that is that's to keep you from going into sin. That's to keep a man to stay in righteousness. All right? The law was created for sinners to come into righteousness. The law was not created for righteous people. All right? And because we were sinners, that's the reason why the Most High gave us that law, to make us righteous, to put us up on a pedestal higher and above all other nations. The children of Israel is the first and the greatest nation. There is no other nation that could even come close to the children of Israel. Everybody wants to be part of the children of Israel, but nobody wants to be the children of Israel. The bullshit that they have to go through in order to get those blessings. This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 18. Actually, verse 17. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in His sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men, for as His majesty is, so is His mercy. All right? So when martial law gets implemented here, full force, not the bullshit that they've been doing, not the little tri-steps, but when it's in full force, then you're going to see who really stands for Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai and who stands for your so-called God and Jesus. All right? Because the Most High said there's many gods, and that can't be his name, for there is no J in Hebrew, and this is a Hebrew book. Sirach chapter 3 verse 7. He that feareth the Lord will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as to his masters. Honor thy father and mother both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them. For the blessing of the father established the houses of children. The blessings of the father. So why do these women have babies with no fathers there? That's not structure, right? That's the reason why your household's fucked up. And ain't never going to get better unless you come into the fold righteously. For the blessing of the Father established the houses of children. But the curse, fucking 14th Street Israelite, the curse of the mother rooted out foundations. Which means what? Who cursed us? Did our father curse us, or did our mother curse us? Our mother cursed us. Why? Because the mother didn't listen to the father. Eve didn't listen and hearken on to the Most High. She wouldn't even hearken on to her husband Adam. Instead, she would listen to a fucking snake. And that snake is not an actual snake. It was just another man who was sneaky. Alright? This is Sirach chapter 3. Verse 10. Nope, this is Sirach chapter 4, verse 10. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and a seed of a husband unto their mother. So shalt thou be as the son of the Most High. He shall love thee more than thy mother doeth. So the reason why I come out here is to get more love from the Most High, more love than my mother could ever give me. Alright? Not to disobey my mom, not to go against her, but just to get a better love from the higher person. The person that created her is also loving me and giving me that love. And what love is, coming out here and teaching the children of Israel, whether they're here for fear, the commandments and the law, statutes, and government and law, statutes, and judgments of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shah, whether they're here or for there. This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 17. Humble thy soul greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. The vengeance of the ungodly is going to be those ICBM missiles that Iran, Iraq, North Korea, South Korea, Russia, the UN, they're all going to shoot their missiles, their arrows. The Most High said, all those that bend the bow spare not an arrow. So they're all going to shoot those ICBM missiles. That's also talked about in Revelation as the locusts having long hair. All right, those are those ICBM missiles. And they're going to burn. And it's going to be a slow burn. All right. This is Sirach chapter 7, verse 29. Fear the Lord with all thy soul and reverence his priests. Love him that made thee with all thy strength and forsake not his ministers. Fear the Lord and honor the priest, and give him his portion as it is commanded thee. The first fruits, the trespass offering, and the gift of the shoulders, and the sacrifice of sanctification, and the first fruits of the holy things. And stretch thy hand unto the poor, that thy blessing may be perfected. A gift hath grace in the sight of every man living, for the dead detain it not. Fail not to be with them that weep, and mourn with them that mourn. Be not slow to visit the sick, for that shall make thee to be beloved. Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss. Alright, now what's the end? The end of life as everybody knows it, especially the people here in America, aka Babylon, is going to be ICBM missiles. But before those ICBM missiles, you're going to have a race war. Alright? And it's going to be every race against everyone. For the Most High said, neighbor will rise up against neighbor. And they're not going to respect the kings nor the princes, which means they're not going to have no respect for the United States military, their army, their policemen. Why do you think the military is getting so slack? Why do you think the police are getting militarized? There's a reason why all these policemen have gotten MRAPs. Right? What does your local police need to do with a mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle? Police don't even get shot that much out here nowadays, so why do you need something like that? Unless you're preparing for a war that's coming, a war that's already brewing up, a war that's going to be here in the next couple of months. All right? Now, I'm going on a limb on that when I say the next couple of months. So they could push it back into November in actuality. This is Sirach, chapter 10, verse 21. The fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof. So the Most High don't like pride. Pride is an abomination unto the Most High. But what is the American philosophy here? You got to be proud. You got to be proud to be an American, right? They want you to have all that pride. Pride is against you if you're a Hebrew Israelite. Now, if you're another nation, you can go ahead and be prideful all you want. Let's see if that pride takes that fire off your ass. All right, this is Sirach chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart is turned away from his Maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. Now, a strange calamity is what? That's talking about your these new diseases that's coming up. All right? That the so-called Jew is making and then distributing within the United States region, the Canada region, the Mexican region, a little bit over there in London, but mostly here in the United States, because that's where a majority of the Israelites are. That's where you're going to get the so-called Negroes, Jamaicans, Haitians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexicans, all right? That's where you're going to get the children of Israel, all right? This is Sirach chapter 14, verse 20. Blessed is the man that doeth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reasoneth of holy things by his understanding. He that considereth her ways in his heart shall also have understanding in her secrets. Now, one of the understanding of the Most High secrets is breaking down the words of this book and this prophecy. Your pastors don't break down nothing, man. They just give you words, give you a bunch of hallelujahs, not even knowing what that really means. You can't even break down that word. All right? They can't break down that one fucking word, nothing. And I know that out here in Rochester, New York, because I've tested these stupid pastors out here. And none of them know anything. They all say, I know a lot of scripture, but they don't. But they've been doing it for 20 years. Right? They're hirelings. That's what Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus Christ, that's what Yahweh Shai called a hireling. And hireling does not care about the sheep. A hireling is a babysitter. Right? They're there to babysit you, keep you company, give you a nice, lovely songs, and then take your money from you, and also your women too. Sometimes your men, because they're wicked that way. This is Sirach, chapter 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love. All right? So in order to love the Most High, you must what? You have to fear him. If you don't have any fear, you don't really love him. Like your father. If your father told you to do something, not your mother, because nobody really fears their mother, but if your father tells you to do something, you're more apt to do it. Why? Because out of respect for your father and out of fear. That's the fear of what your father is going to do to you if you don't do what he said. Alright? So the first thing is to fear the Most High, is to do the things that he said that he's written down for us to do. Not for all nations. Alright? This is not for all nations. This is only for the children of Israel. Alright, this is Sirach chapter 19, verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omniscience. No, that's not something else. I don't want to get that one. Okay, this is Sirach chapter 27, verse 3. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. As when one sitteth with a seed, the refuse remaineth. So the filth of man is his talk. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel, so the trial of man is in his reasoning. The fruit declareth, if the tree have been dressed, so is the utterance of a conceit in their heart of man. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak, for this is the trial of men. If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt obtain her, and put on her as a glorious long robe. Alright? Now the glorious long robe is what? Having the wisdom, having the knowledge, having the understanding of Yahweh Ba'al Yahweh Shai in spirit and in truth. Alright? That's why he says, wash you and make you clean, make your robes clean. Alright? That means washing out your mind, not putting that bullshit that these so-called Americans want to put in your head, but putting the truth back into your mind. Alright? And that's what's going to cleanse you, because then once the truth is in you, you'll start doing the things because that's within you. But if abominations like pork and shrimp, if those abominations are dwelling within your vessel, then it's hard for the Most High to dwell within you, because you're unclean. And you keep yourself unclean, so I can't dwell within you. That's why the Most High said, let the holy be holy and let the filthy be filthy. If you're filthy, I'm going to let you be filthy still. But if you're holy and you want to get more holiness, then I'm here to also help you. Alright? Now here's a shot to those Jehovah's Witnesses. Now this is Sirach, chapter 29, verse 24. For it is a miserable life to go from house to house. For where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth. Thou shalt entertain and feast and have no thanks. Moreover, thou shalt hear bitter words. Come, thou stranger, and furnish a table, and feed me of that thou hast ready. Give place, thou stranger, to an honorable man. My brother cometh to be lodged, and I have need of my houses. These things are grievous to a man of understanding, the upbraiding of house room, and reproaching of the lender. Alright? This is Sirach chapter 30, verse 3. He that teaches his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he has left one behind him that is like himself. And that's why we teach our children the rules, the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of Yahweh Ba'al Yahweh Shai. But there's only one person. When a man for Yahweh Ba'al Yahweh Shai goes and teaches his children, there's a person that gets in the way every time, and that is the mothers. The mothers get in the way. The mothers say, no, you're being too hard. Well, I need to teach him how to be a man. If you be soft on him, when he grows up, he's going to think that that's the way of life. But if I'm hard on him, when he grows up, he's going to know I have to be hard to protect my family. All right, this is Sirach chapter 25, verse 13. Give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman, and any affliction but the affliction of them that hate me, and any revenge but the revenge of enemies. There is no head above the head of a serpent, and there is no wrath above the wrath of an enemy. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. The wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Why? Because he's hearing that his woman is being passed around from man to man. Alright? Our women are not supposed to be playing the harlot. If other nations women want to play the harlot, then that's them. But our women are supposed to be holy. But our women have become the most unholy. They're so unholy, they don't even like their own hair. They rather put on wigs and weaves than have their own hair. And yes, white people have fucking wigs and weaves too. Yeah, but it's their own hair. Not one white person puts on a fucking wig outside of an afro, and it's not just for a joke. They don't do it in seriousness, but our women do it in seriousness. Why? Because they don't understand that the Most High plagued their head.